Hey guys, it's Zen here from Prime PPTO, giving you guys another update on what's been happening in the real estate market, especially in May. If you've looked in the background's different again. If you ever know, Amy and I just got back from South America. We got engaged. I proposed in Machu Picchu, so I came back to Yorkville temporarily while we figure things out on what to do. Oh man, it was so nerve-wracking telling the parents and while doing it. If anyone's ever told you that they've done a proposal and they nailed everything, they're full of crap. I rehearsed everything, remembered everything, and just stuttered everything. Absolutely terrible. But it's great to be back, definitely, especially when the weather is so nice. So right now, I am in Yorkville. It is like about 28 degrees-ish or so, it feels like it, and it feels great. But on to the update. In May, you guys probably have heard, if you've been paying attention to any kind of news source, you'll see headlines like sales are down 20%. This is absolutely true. The numbers are out. So we are 20% less sales volume, meaning that the amount of transactions from last year in May, it's 20% less now this year. I think we're about 10,000 transactions, which is low for May. May is supposed to be one of the strongest. However, the funny thing is the prices are still up. Prices are up about 13% across GTA at about 863,000 condos and detaches put together. So what is the reasoning for the sales volume? Should be scared. Obviously, the 50% foreign buyer tax has had an effect. Some of the Chinese money has left. What is it going to do? Are we going to stagnate? Are we going to do what happened in Vancouver? No one really has a crystal ball to kind of know, but what I can tell you and what I think is going to be happening is we are definitely in a stagnation point. Everyone's kind of just had like shell shocked, like, oh, I don't know what to do. And definitely 15% foreign buyer tax has put in effect. The other thing is, even before the 50% foreign buyer tax came into effect, people were starting to put their houses on the market more often. So we had a lot more listings than what we were used to at the end of April. So if you were buying a house, you would probably notice that instead of bidding with 10 other people for a house, you're bidding with maybe 3 other people, which is great if you're buying because you aren't as frenzied anymore and you're not, under the pressure and the gun to go snap, rich, try to make an offer and try to get it right off the bat. We're actually seeing people are able to, submit an offer and actually have conditions in it, and you can actually have time to review it. So that's kind of good if you're buying. The second thing is that as supply goes up, obviously prices come down, but we're still at a point where it's not necessarily a buyer's market. Just stay tuned for that. If you want to compare us to Vancouver got their 15% foreign buyers tax about 8 months ago. It did slow down, it did stagnate for a little bit. However, now if you look at Vancouver, they're at their peak again. So if we follow the Vancouver's trend and where the real estate markets be, maybe in 8 months time we'll peak. So if you're buying, maybe now's a good time where it's not as crazy. If you're selling, make sure you just price it correctly, because otherwise other people have options and you're not, the only pretty girl in the ball anymore, okay? The second thing I want to address is not necessarily real estate related, but it will affect the real estate market. If you guys haven't heard, Kathleen Wynne implemented another big policy. She changed the minimum wage from, I think, $11.25 to $15. It's going to be in full effect as of next year. And now this doesn't affect real estate, but you got to keep in mind, having minimum wage increase that amount means effectively gives people 32% raise. Think about that, 32% raise. Your average is like 5% raise in like a corporate job. It's 32% raise to about a 1.5 million people in Southern Ontario, okay? Now, what this raise will mean is that people will start having options, because a lot of people are house poor. Some people were sharing places with another roommate for like $2,000. Now they have options to move in on their own because they can afford these things, or if they were living with someone, they can upgrade. So what that means is there's going to be an increased demand in entry-level houses and condos, okay? Now here's the ironic thing, okay? Yes, rental prices will probably go up because there's the demand for it, especially but remember, with the 50% foreign buyer tax, what happened was they put rent control as well. So a lot of the big institutional guys like Manulife, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to be building more and more rental property because there's rent control. So in a few years, we're going to be at this weird case where there's going to be no supply because no one's been building rental units. At the same time, there's going to be a demand because the minimum wage has gone up. So make sure you guys stay tuned to Prime PPTO for updates on that as I keep you guys posted. But for now, I hope the update has given you guys a little bit of foresight into maybe where we're going to go and how it's kind of happening. If you're buying, ultimately, you can continue buying. Just make sure you don't go crazy and overbid for something, because you don't have to do that anymore. There are other options. If you're selling, again, make sure you price it correctly, because other people have a lot of options. If you're in a unit and you're renting already, just make sure you stay in it, because one, rent control, I see rental units already going higher, and two, the supply is coming down. So I hope this helps you guys a lot, giving the update, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.